The day I had sex, that is your business and your business only. And it is actually impossible to pop anything. Good evening, my little angels. This is my third time trying to film this video. Absolute nightmare. I am finally back using my old camera, which is my Canon G7X Mark II. As I mentioned a while ago now, like at the beginning of quarantine, I've been using my stepdad's GoPro because I broke this camera in Dubai just before lockdown started and wasn't able to get it fixed because obviously everything shut down. But here we are, brand new one, back. And I feel like I'm looking currently now at the viewfinder because I feel like since I've been using the GoPro, I'm used to that quality, and this quality is like even more exceptional, but I almost feel like my eyes are deceiving me and that it's out of focus. So if parts of this video are blurry, I'm so sorry. I've put all my settings back to how they normally are, but it's almost like my eyes need to get used to using this video again, and I just can't help but feel like the autofocus is like deciding whether it wants to work or not. So there may be moments of blurriness. I apologize. This is my third time doing this, so honestly, if I do it again, I'm gonna end up ripping all my hair out because this is just insane. But before I continue with today's video, I just want to say, as a trigger warning or as a disclaimer, anyone who is uncomfortable talking about things like sex, things that involve penises, vaginas, intercourse, blood, anything that makes you uncomfortable with this specific topic, I would strongly advise you to stop watching the video now, because I am not someone that is necessarily the most PG. I'm not exactly XXX rated, but I am not the most PG, and I'm gonna be keeping it quite honest and frank. So if you are uncomfortable watching videos like this, I do not want to make anyone uncomfortable, so please do not watch it any further. And if you are someone that wanted this video or wants to hear about this video, now you've seen it or you are comfortable, let's get right into it. Let me first start off by saying, if you are watching this and you are still a virgin, if you are watching this and you are planning on losing your virginity, if you lost your virginity when you were younger, if you lost your virginity yesterday, if you lost your virginity when you were 21, 27, 31, 37, 41, 47, I just want to make it very clear that that is all okay. It is fine. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter whether you still are not a virgin. Either way, whatever you choose to do, whoever you choose to do it with, that is your business and your business only. So I just want to start off by saying this is a non-hate platform. If there is anyone that comments below and says that they're still a virgin, I do not want to see any person commenting below saying that it's embarrassing or laughing. That is their personal choice, and that is the whole point of having a platform like this and having conversations about stuff like this, so that we can talk and communicate openly, learn some new stuff. I get to talk to you guys because we all know how much I love to talk, and I get to hear back from you guys whether you think what I said is good, whether you learn from it, whether you guys can teach me stuff, and just some fun facts and just a nice casual conversation. I can almost guarantee you that no one here, including myself and watching this video, is in no position to be judging anybody. The literal definition of virginity is the state of never having sexual intercourse. I'm gonna write the definitions down here so everyone knows, but the reason I'm explaining the definition is because from what I have seen and what I have researched, technically if you've lost your virginity, it's actually up to you. I know a lot of people feel like if you don't have vagina and penis intercourse, or if you have anal sex, it means you haven't lost your virginity. But technically you can actually claim and state whether you have or haven't lost your virginity on your own accord. You decide when you're ready to have sex, and you don't put too much pressure on the idea of giving someone your virginity and losing it and stuff like that. Try and be comfortable and think of it as a whole new experience. Now, can I just say, one of the biggest misconceptions, and this is something that I was unaware of until I'd done my research over the years, is the idea that you're gonna pop your cherry or pop your hymen and that means you're no longer a virgin. Technically speaking, it is actually impossible to pop anything. So your hymen is quite literally just an added bit of tissue that is around the vaginal wall. So it actually isn't attached across the entrance of your vagina to be able to pop. it's already loose. You could potentially tear it or strain it, and that can cause some bleeding when you first have sex. In fact, some people aren't even born with a hymen. Some people are just not born with it, and that is just the fact of it. It's just a small bit of tissue that the majority of women are born with and does not contribute towards whether you have or have not lost your virginity. I don't know where that myth came from, but I just want to say now, like, if you didn't know that that is not factually correct, we're crushing that. That is done. I was very heartbroken when I found out, because I would genuinely be the person that was like, I popped my cherry beach. I didn't pop anything. Nothing popped, okay? I just had sex, and that was it. I feel like loads of people think that your body is going to drastically change once you've had sex. I know this was something that I thought, because I will never forget the day I had sex. I was 16, I was turning 17, literally just before my 17th birthday. I had just lost my virginity to my boyfriend at the time, who I ended up with for over 1.5 years. And I came home, and my mum the next day was like, have you lost your virginity? Have you had sex? And she said she just knew. She was like, there was something different about me now. Yes, certain things change. Your nipples might become more sensitive, your boobs might become more tender and slightly bigger and swollen, but that's literally just because of the excessive amount of blood flow, because now your hormones are going crazy because you've just been turned on and sexually aroused. But other than that, your body doesn't literally change. A lot of it is more like a mental and psychological change. So maybe you're carrying yourself different, maybe you feel a little bit more paranoid, or you feel like people know. But other than that, your body doesn't now instantly just overnight you're a different shape, height and size. That's not really how it works. Certain things over time, the older you get, about things like, you know, your hips widening and stuff like that, great. But after losing your virginity, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, sometimes even up to your 7th time, nothing really changes. You'll get a swollen vulva, a swollen clitoris, you might get some aching, you might get rapid breath. For a male, you'll still have an erect penis. And things like that. You might excessively sweat, but that is all down to the fact that you've now been sexually aroused, you've now been turned on, more so than I've just had sex, oh my god, I'm a whole different looking and different vibing human being. No, relax. Do not stress yourself out. Do not think that you are now going to morph into this different person, especially to those watching that who are still virgins. Do not put that pressure on yourself to think that you now are going to be or have to be a whole new human being. You do not. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. I feel like most people get scared that there's this like after I've had sex look, and that is not the case. Maybe up to an hour, maximum a few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, however long it is, like literally directly after, your body goes back to normal. All the excessive sweating and hyperactive breathing and stuff all starts to slow down. The only way that people really know you're no longer a virgin is if you tell them, or if you choose to behave in a different manner that makes them question whether you have or hadn't had sex. I also don't want people who are still virgins to think that you are going to be in the most excruciating pain. It's more so the idea of it being uncomfortable, or there's some sort of discomfort, because typically this is not exactly something that is a regular occurring situation. You don't always just, you know, slip and there's a penis inside of you. I'm not saying that there might not be moments of pain, depending on certain positions you're in, depending on how you're losing your virginity, depending on how hard the sex is and those type of intimate details. But generally speaking, it's supposed to be more uncomfortable than painful. Don't know about anyone else. My first time wasn't actually that uncomfortable for me. It wasn't the best feeling, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of made, like, not made my skin crawl, but it made me feel a bit like, I don't want this anymore. But mentally and sexually I was so aroused, I was like, oh my god, yes, I need this. But my vagina was like, no. The common misconception of your sheets are going to be filled with blood. Now, it's going to be something out of a 90s horror movie. It's not going to be like that. Normally there is blood involved when you do things like tear your hymen, or just tear any part of your insides inside your vaginal wall, and that is literally sometimes just due to friction. There is not going to be a massacre in your pants. On the topic now, slightly aside of things like pregnancies and stuff like that, I feel like when I was younger, I genuinely didn't believe that it was possible to get pregnant when you've just had sex for the first time. It is. There is instantly a possibility anytime you have sex, penis to vagina, it is possible to get pregnant. If there's any type of sperm inside or around the outside of your vagina, because it can then accidentally just slip in, and pregnancy is a possibility. Do not have high expectations to orgasm the first time you have sex. Don't have high expectations to orgasm ever, to be honest. Don't expect it to happen. If it happens, you are truly blessed. Let me tell you, you are blessed beyond measure. Because having an orgasm is not the easiest thing. It involves a lot of trust. You have to relax a lot. I am not saying it's not possible, but a lot of women don't have it. A lot of women have never had it, and a lot of women may never have it. In fact, to be exact, 11 to 41% of people with a vagina have actual difficulty reaching an orgasm or a climax. So don't feel like after you've lost your virginity, or even when you're losing your virginity, don't feel like that is expected. Again, like I said, if it happens, you're blessed. If it doesn't, do not feel like absolute shit. There's a whole bunch of us out here who have not experienced an orgasm. Also, there is no such thing as the right time if you're going based on age or experience, or you're now in uni and you have to, or you're now past the age of 30. No. The right time is when you feel like it's the right time. And on the topic of talking about the right time, consent. Okay, just gonna get deep here just for a split moment, because I cannot stress how, like, the fact that I even have to say that this is necessary is just like ridiculous. But consent is a must. If you are in the middle of having sex, whether it's from when you've lost your virginity or 100 times later, if during and before you turn around and change your mind, you know, you might have said 2 hours before, yeah, I really want to have sex, and in the moment and whilst it's happening, you're like, do you know what, I changed my mind. Stop. That is the moment that you open your mouth and you say, I don't want this. Stop. That the consent that you've given, it no longer exists. I just want to make that clear for women and for men as well. So any of the men that are listening, please understand that yes, it is possible to change your mind and take away the consent that you earlier gave. The minute you say, I do not want this, shit needs to stop. So I just want to make that clear. When it comes to losing your virginity, if you were comfortable and you were happy to do it 2 days ago, 2 hours ago, even 2 minutes ago, and you change your mind and you say, do you know what, actually I really wanted to do this but I'm not comfortable doing it, make sure the other person knows that you mean that that is a no. Do not feel like you owe anyone your body. Do not feel like you owe anyone an explanation as to why you've now said no. If you are no longer comfortable, you are no longer comfortable, and that is the end of the conversation. Like, I know I feel like I'm like a school teacher, like telling someone off, but I just want to make that clear. If you are no longer comfortable, open your mouth and say you are no longer comfortable, and that is the end of the scenario. Especially if it's your first time, that is a very normal thing within your head to feel like, oh, I'm having doubts. Do I actually want to do this? Is this where I want to go with this? And that is okay. That is very, very, very much okay. So I just want to make that very, very clear that regardless of anything that's going on, you are the one who decides whether you would like to have sex or not. You are the one that decides whether you want to lose your virginity or not, and you are the one that decides whether you want to follow through with it or not. Please, to all my women and men, because it is very possible for the same thing to happen to men, but please bear that in mind, that you need to be comfortable and you need to have given consent for it to happen. Your first time does not determine how the rest of your sex life is going to go. It doesn't even determine how the next time is going to go with the same person. Just know that the first time is the first time. If both of you are virgins, it's not exactly going to be good, is it? No one knows what they're doing. Do not have those expectations, because you will disappoint yourself. Just let that shit go. Be free, be comfortable, enjoy. There might be things that you like now that you might not like later on in life, and there might be things that you really don't like once you first started having sex that you might really start to enjoy. Do not feel like the first time is exactly how it's going to be. Your first time is probably going to be shit, and then you're really going to experience what good sex is like once you've been having it for a while. Let me just make that very clear, okay? And good sex is good. Yeah, she's good. You can always retry if you feel like the first time wasn't good enough. Do not let that go over your head. If If the first time was not good enough, try again. Try as many times as you want. It doesn't have to be a one time and it's done activity. It doesn't have to be like a let's do this and it's over. No, you can try again. On a better note, not to feel like you have to do this and have to lose your virginity because everyone else is doing it. No, not everyone else is doing it. That when I done my research in 2016, a study was taken that showed that 15% of millennials had not had sex again since they were the age of 18. That's actually quite a lot of people. So I don't want you to sit there and blame yourself and think everyone else is doing it. It's really, really embarrassing that I haven't. That is no one's fucking business. Let me just make that clear. I've heard like, so, honestly, my camera keeps moving. I've heard like so many different losing your virginity stories from so many different people from different walks of life, and the reason everyone's story alters and is different is because everyone's different. So like I want to make sure that I add that in and make it clear that no one is you, and if you choose to lose your virginity in the way you choose to lose it, that is entirely your choice and your choice only. I just want to make sure that everyone is safe and understanding and comfortable and knows that it's actually a lot of fun within it. It's not as scary as everyone makes it out to be. So I just want to make sure that, sorry, I keep looking at myself in the mind, I like the blurriness. If there is any extra pointers that you think I missed out, please, please, please comment them below. I just wanted to keep this nice and cute and concise and not talk too much about it. I want this to be a safe space and a safe space only for my little angels out there who have not yet lost their virginity. And for those of you that have, please share down below some encouraging words and some encouragement and some relaxation as to how the best way is to approach it for those of you who are scared. There is nothing to be anxious about, there is nothing to be scared about, and there is nothing to be worried about. I just want to make sure I end on a positive note. And on that note, I'm going to take my little back to bed. I love you guys. Here's to the third time being a charm. Let's hope I don't have to film this for a fourth. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Stay safe, stay blessed, and stay loved up.